right, guys, here we're going to talk about the movie Scream. 1996's Scream. You've seen this.
Everyone was forced to watch this. This is not a thing you could have missed, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a pretty wide shot where it kind of hit anybody who remotely likes horror, if you like thriller. There's a little bit of action here.
It was the horror for people who aren't just horror nerds. I expected to be like, oh, whatever, I'm nostalgic, I guess. But returning to it, I was actually like, oh no, this is something like special, I think. This is cool or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you're saying that, but I'm like, I was fully expecting to be like, this blows, we were just idiots back then, we thought this was new and interesting. Like, people tried to copy this, this formula, and we'll talk more with the spoilers involved. But like, people tried to like keep this tone going, and even Scream tried and kind of eventually failed to like recapture the magic.
But they're still going.
So I was like, yeah.
No, I would agree. Like going into this, I liked it almost as much as the first time. Like it didn't lose a lot knowing things were going to happen in the beats because they're really fun, and some of the acting in this is amazing. Matthew Lillard specifically, is a standout. Like
a huge Matthew Lillard stand.
He brings so much to this role.
It's very cool. Yes.
Most definitely.
A lot of them do, and you'll go on and on about the people who are in it.
There's a great cast in this. There's a lot of famous people. We're going to talk about the cast.
We're going to have a section on that, I'm sure. But yeah, it's not just hype, folks. It's actually good. If you haven't seen it in 20 or 30 years, watch it, I guess.
Indeed. All right, guys, if you've seen it or don't care, false over to spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, so here we are for the spoilers of Scream. Lee, let me hear them spoiler-filled thoughts.
I was like, what? It's so long. When I hit play, I was like, what are we doing? And then I'm like, oh, it has that opening, which is like a separate thing. It's like a cold open. So like 5 minutes, I'm sure will be this. It is like a 12-minute plus long misdirection cold open genius maneuver.
It is one of the best cold openings of a horror movie.
Well, I think you have the wrong number.
Do I?
It happens. Take it easy.
Drew Barrymore really kicks the shit out of it. Yeah, she's great in it.
It's a whole movie all by itself. And yeah, Drew Barrymore, I was like, okay, fine, you're stunt casting. She doesn't want to be there the whole time. It just works out for everybody. And then it's like a misdirect for the trailer. How cute.
The trailer, the poster, the box,
awesome.
Everything.
No, but she is, to your point, awesome.
It was Jason. I saw that movie 20 goddamn times.
Then you should know Jason's mother, Mrs. Voorhees, was the original killer. Jason didn't show up until the sequel.
When like the phone rings or like the doorbell, and she's just like standing and she like freaks out, when those things happen. I'm like, I believe that you're scared right now.
I'm calling the police.
She only filmed this for 4 days.
That's all it takes.
And did not wear shoes. She insisted, she's like, I'm not doing this very long. I don't want to wear shoes. I hate shoes. And I was like, that is an interesting choice. But I like it because you're in the house. You're doing the thing. Aside from the fact that no one in this is an alternate universe where no one locks the doors.
I don't wear shoes to make popcorn, okay?
I've never made popcorn like that on the oven, ever. Have you?
You might need shoes for that, is what you're saying?
Well, you might want a splatter guard, or I don't know.
We might need some equipment. Maybe the Homer Simpson hazmat suit. No, these people are rich.
Everyone is rich in this movie.
It's very funny. I did not notice this on my first watch because I'm an old man now and I'm a dirty whatever. So I was just like, look at this rich bitch in her house. Neve Campbell's house later, or like wherever she's staying.
The view from Neve Campbell's house is unbelievable. She has like multiple tier decks that just look out onto just beautiful scenery. There's like no buildings. I'm like, where is this? Is this the middle of California?
She gets dropped off and there's like gravel and it's all manicure and there's a little like fake gazebo entryway thing. I was like, damn.
What do they call it? A upa or something? I forgot. There's a name for those.
Or you might call it a hopa.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
He's big and he plays football and he'll kick your ass.
I'm shaking in my boots.
My favorite part about that is that as an audience member, you don't know if she was lying before, if she's lying now.
Yes.
And it was very convincing. And it even partially like impugns her or like paints her in like a bad light, where she was like, I'm having fun talking right now, fuck it, I'm single, whatever, and just goes along with it because she thinks like,
well, it's a random wrong number. We don't even know what state this person lives in.
Yeah, she assumes, I guess, that it's someone from school, or they're like playing a prank, or she's
based
just
on that voice. I don't know how you could like assuming that you didn't think it's someone putting on a voice. That is not a voice of someone that could remotely be in school with you.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Even as a teacher. That is a sadistic, smart voice.
Everyone's in their 30s, though. It's fine.
Yeah. Really, yeah.
I assume that she's made some assumptions about what's happening, where she, thinks that it's safe, or she's just having fun, or whatever.
It is a fun conversation until it turns. And when it turns, it is a 0 to 100
thing.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a trivia game. Whatever, I'm bored.
Yeah.
The popcorn's still popping. I might as well. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, indulge. When he's still like, hang on me, I'll cut you like a fish, or whatever the fuck he says, I'm like, oh shit.
Listen, asshole!
No, you listen, you little bitch. You hang up on me again, I'll cut you like a fish, understand?
Yeah, that guy's voice is great.
Yes, and like when you look at the IMDb now, you go, oh, there is just a guy who that's his voice. They just have a guy to do that. Okay, fine.
He was originally just a placeholder, and then they're like, this is really fucking good. We're going to use that. Yeah. And I don't know what they would have wanted, because it's a weird thing, because they use like, oh, we have a voice modulator is what's doing this. And it turns no matter what your starting voice is to that voice.
When Nev Campbell does it, it's like a worse version of his voice. They like pitch it up or something.
Are you alone in the house?
Bitch! You bitch! Where the fuck are you?
Not so fast. We're gonna play a little game. It's called
Guess who just called the police and reported you? Sorry, motherfucking ass!
But like when you shout into like a little box, you can still hear Skeet Ulrich's voice.
Yeah, it
doesn't make sense.
Stop your voice.
It's whatever. It's fine. It's like a conceit for the movie to explain like why is the voice not a voice you can do an impression of, because there's two of you and it wouldn't make sense. Yes.
Yeah. I like it a lot though when you watch something repeatedly that has a scenario like this. So there are two killers that are going back and forth, and you're constantly going, okay, who's doing what? Are they both on set right now? Does it tag out? Is this one? Because like,
which one must it be now?
Yes. Because especially when people move impossibly fast or are sneaky or doing things, it doesn't make sense. But when there's two of them, you can paint this picture where you're like, oh wait, he was in the closet the whole time. That guy's outside on the phone, like looking, like you could do anything. And they don't ever really reveal exactly how things went down. So it kind of is great.
No, and they do like, because like I think the box says like smart and hip or some shit, but it really is, because like Nev Campbell, fell asleep for that part. I assume that's the part you're talking about. Because he's in the closet, but like yes, like it's left ambiguous where it's like, oh, he could have been in the closet literally the entire time, or he could have just slipped past her on the porch somehow or something. Yeah. Either way, you just don't see, you just don't know, and boom, he's there.
And as I said, we know no one ever locks her doors ever, so when she's on the phone on the porch, she could have just walked right in any of the doors. It's such a weird, and I guess this is kind of true if you live in the middle of nowhere.
It was a long time ago.
My aunt and uncle used to have a house in Vermont, in like the middle of nowhere, where it's like, there are more cows than there are people, and they never locked the doors, even when they took a trip to town. And I'm like, that's strange.
Listen,
who does that?
There was a time we didn't have to lock our doors.
I guess.
Says Gwildor. So I believe him, man.
I remember the days we didn't have to lock our doors.
If you're this rich too, you might not fear robbery the same way a poor person might. Because you're like, I'll buy a new one.
The class consciousness of the Scream movies coming through here. That scene, though, before we move on, I just want to make sure. That's the part, too, where this is doing this meta referential, it's like post-horror, where she says, like, oh, it's always some big, big-breasted bimbo who's running up the stairs when she should be running out the front door.
They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
Yeah. And then the door is locked, so she has to run up the stairs in like the very next sequence where I'm like, it's so dumb, that's perfect. You just
they do a lot of that great
it's
stuff.
Great, yeah.
The best of those, like movie reference, because it's a big play off of things, is when he's doing he gives them the speech about
there are rules to survive a movie.
And he's watching the movie now after everyone's left, and he's like, turn around. What
are you doing?
And then they're watching him in the fucking camera. Turn around.
Behind you, kid! Andy! Behind you!
Look around.
Exactly.
Like, oh man, that's brilliant.
It's really good. You can tell that this is, they took the whole, it's almost like Wet Hot American Summer to me, where it's like, it both is a movie that is in this genre, but is also playing off the genre tropes, and like, it takes place in a world where those genres are like a thing and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
accepting
wonderful.
and acknowledging these things is great. And the fact that, like, our boy at the video store, not to say clerks always know what's going on, but they generally always know what's going on.
He has an inside track.
He calls the killer out right from the beginning. He's like, that's your killer right there.
He didn't do anything.
You're such a little lapdog. He's got killer printed all over his forehead.
And
Yes.
he didn't know he was telling that to the killer's partner because he didn't
Oh
know it
my
was a
God.
partner. But
That scene is also brilliant because we know from last night that like people were wherever they were doing. Skeet Ulrich says to Matthew Lillard, "No one said you did it," and he emphasizes the word "you"
Yeah.
as if to be like, "Oh, well, he must have been the killer at that moment, so like
Yeah.
he didn't kill." So what? Technically true, but obviously like trying to tell his partner in crime to shut the fuck up.
I didn't kill anybody. Nobody said you did. Thanks, buddy. Besides, it takes a man to do something like that.
Where I was
although
like,
I do
this is
believe
tight.
height-wise, it almost had to have been Matthew Lillard in that scene
Don't
in
worry about it.
particular. But who's to say? I'm actually not 100% sure how tall Drew Barrymore is. Maybe because she was shoeless, it gave Skeet the edge there. I
go.
love Skeet Ulrich. I think he's great in a
Yeah.
few things. He, more recently than not, he's chose, I think, poorly in his roles.
I haven't kept track of his career. Is he tanking it?
Just some of these things, like he was in one that was so good called If Looks Could Kill.
That sounds familiar.
He accidentally slips into the role of a spy, and it's so good.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know that. Okay.
That movie's so good.
Listen, so there's a lot of people in this movie who I would root for.
Yeah.
I want to say Matthew Lillard, like 100%.
David Arquette.
He's on the list, most definitely. And then most definitely Skeet as like the poor man's Johnny Depp, where I'm like, no, he's good though. I remember having like arguments in the video store at the time of like, everybody's good in this, shut up.
Yeah, him and Jericho, fire. Rose McGowan, I like her a
Yes.
lot. I think she's great in this in particular, and
Yes.
she had a really great time in this. They said it's one of her favorite movies. I don't know if like the movie itself is her favorite or the experience of making the movie was her favorite. But either way, I'll take it.
God, I loved it. I'll send you a copy. Bam! Bitch went down.
No, it's a great role, and it's more restrained than some of her other work. And she really, everyone is.
She hits the lines.
There's no one who's bad in this. When she's like, "I'll send you a copy," bam, bitch goes down.
Yeah.
God, unless I'm like, I believe this silly little
I
thing.
didn't get
you're
so
doing.
a lot of them. You can see why people died. I didn't get necessarily why Matthew Lillard kills her.
Are you serious?
This little vixen doesn't invite the entire world.
Oh, like why?
Yeah.
Like
Because she
the
seemed
rules.
like a really like fun, like
Yeah.
like hit you with a lollipop kind of girlfriend. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, she seems like she'd be down. They could like bring her in. the
Like
whole
something.
thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And like really,
I think there's a comment at one point that like, fuck the rules, who cares? We're just doing this.
Yeah,
It's like
kind of.
something like that. But yeah.
Dewey kind of really like brings that up. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
movies here, and he's not like crushed. Like I lost my sister. These fucks. Like it kind of just goes whatever.
That's true, actually.
you know.
This is Neil Prescott's car.
Sydney's father?
Yeah. Jesus, what's he doing here?
Well, she made fun of him at his job. So
She's kind of a bitch.
She's pretty
Maybe
cool.
that's what. Maybe they were really sympathetic to Dewey, and they're like, can't be calling out a man at his job.
What the fuck?
Damn it, Dewey.
Well, what did Mama tell you? When I wear this badge, you treat me like a man of the law.
I'm sorry, Deputy Dewey Boy, but we're ready to go now, okay?
When David Arquette, like Nev Campbell's gotten the the call, Skeet's in jail, so it's so it can't be him. When he walks over to the phone and is like, "Hello," when he does his fucking,
That's
I was
my
like, this
favorite
is
David
so
Arquette moment.
Good, it's so perfect. Just him.
It's the pencil mustache and the eyes.
He communicates so much without.
I want to
it's so
say
good.
that was him joking with the camera operator.
Okay.
Because it doesn't play
Nice.
as serious at all. He's like,
Hello.
hello.
It feels like he's pathetically trying to psych himself up and
Yeah.
okay, you got this, man. Hello, and like do his thing, but like it's because of his acting, I assume it's
So
like not working.
What?
Hello.
He took this role because it was originally written to be this like swashbuckling, handsome cop.
And once they saw him, they're like, let's fix
Well,
it.
he was going to be Billy, and and then he was like, oh, I want to be that part.
Yeah.
And I think not knowing that there were going to be sequels, and then he ultimately chose the better
That's a
role
good choice,
because it
yeah.
got him a lot more movies.
Exactly.
It might be one of his most famous roles.
Yeah, no, this is
This is pretty popular with
probably
most
the
people.
one.
It's not
Yeah.
my favorite role he's done, but it's pretty popular.
You're an eight-legged freaks guy. I know.
Alien Freaks is pretty great. Ready to Rumble though might be my favorite one with him.
I don't even know what that is.
Him and Scott Conn.
I don't know what that is.
That's James Caan's son.
I don't even know what that is.
Never alone. Ow, liver. It was a joke.
Yeah, so David Arquette as well. Him and Courtney Cox's whole like love story relationship thing, and how
in
it's
real life from this.
People treat me like I'm the Antichrist of television journalism.
I don't think you're that bad.
But like, it doesn't feel like shoehorned in or tacked on. It feels organic throughout the narrative and all that stuff. And it's even
You
better.
might say because their chemistry was so good.
Dewey's just something I got stuck with a long time ago.
Well, I like it. Sexy.
Sexy.
But it like fits in and has this built-in tension where like Nev Campbell hates Courtney Cox and they're in this group to get this friend group. So it's like it, and then
she does a really good job. What's her name? Gail Weathers.
Gail Weathers.
So this is the exact opposite of everything everyone knows from her.
Yeah.
Obviously, dancing in a music video doing the Carlton. And the show Friends.
Yeah.
This is the polar opposite where she's just this this bitch.
But so focused. She's like, oh my God, this is terrible. He's like, oh no, yeah. She's like, yeah, my book sales are gonna like she's so shitty, and it comes through so much. And Dewey is such a soft boy. Yeah. And they hit it off in this way. They like tumble down the hill and he's on top of her or something, and it just sparks fly, and then they it all comes into play in the finale. It works. It works for me. I like it a lot.
I understand you're 50 pounds overweight, but when I say move, get your lard ass in gear.
I know that you're about 50 pounds overweight, but when I say hurry, please interpret that as move your fat tub of lard ass now!
I felt that one too. I was like, damn.
That guy's face
He's just trying to live.
His fucking Cheetos. Yeah. That goddamn man. He's great.
I identify most with that guy. He got a raw deal. He was like, oh no, and died.
Yeah.
Sucked.
Didn't see it coming. Door open, slit throat. Gone.
Should have.
Sad. Nev Campbell, though. So, like, she got this off of Party of Five, where they're like, you can be this innocent girl, but you also look like you're strong because you deal with emotional turmoil or whatever. But she is a great character where, she fights back. In multiple times, it's like, okay, she saved her own life right there. She's doing stuff. She's performing these, like, military maneuver leg sweeps and cuts. Like, it's almost as impressive as some of the things that are Scream, we can't say which one's doing which, but Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich at times are superhuman.
Yeah.
Like, a beer gets broken at best on his rock-hard abs, at worst on his rock-hard penis. Because she just whips a bottle and it shatters on him.
Scream Man,
and the second one hits him in the face. And yes, he's wearing a thin rubber mask, but it's still a beer shattering on your face.
He reacts a bit like, I don't like that, but then keeps
They do
going
a lot
whatever.
of tumbles where you're like, oh, this is probably a stuntman. Because, like, it's not the same caliber of, like, presence acting as it is like throw yourself to the ground repeatedly type maneuvers, which have become synonymous with that kind of character even in spoofs. So like Scary Movie, which is I'd probably say one of the best spoof movies off of like a specific couple of genres, like Airplane, fantastic. But there's a lot of things here. Well, this Scream and that run parallel in a lot of ways. And the Ghostface does the same pratfalling like bullshit things in that, like to the letter.
I gotta stop drinking.
It's good though, because like that's like the whole thing is like a piss take of something, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing of like you never see Michael Myers or one of those people like, oh, the window's not opening. Fuck, what do I do? And like trying to like struggle with something. But Ghostface is constantly slipping and falling.
He's a person.
Yeah, exactly. It's
but
like,
at the same time, he is jumping through windows and punching through glass with very little hesitation.
There's a lot of goofy stuff too.
And depending on what your gloves are made of, that makes it easier. And we
like
don't
you're
necessarily
saying,
see his gear turn out.
But like you're saying, like they're superhuman in this like amped up surreal world, and Nev Campbell is too. I remember the scene where she's like, like makes it out onto the roof and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just like, word. Like
she takes a pretty good fall there.
Yeah, people were really into this though with this character, like not taking any shit and actually like trying to survive and pushing it to this degree.
She's the final girl.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Even after she loses her virginity, which you're like, oh, you thought that you might have lost a step, but no, you're more powerful than before.
Because the rules don't actually matter.
Apparently.
That's the whole thing.
Yes! Oh, lovely! Oh.
When Dewey fucking, I found this mask. It's like in the fucking peephole. It's like ready to get her.
And then she screams and he pulls the mask down and then he's screaming back at her like more. He's more terrified after she scream.
I honestly don't know who's stronger in their character, like who brought character to the part. Is it David Arquette or is it Matthew Lillard? Because like David Arquette, like the oh my goddamn, oh she got retired. He's like, oh yeah, throw my fucking like.
It took me a second to figure out what the hell you were talking about, but yes.
Him with the ice cream cone.
Him like relating
hilarious.
to the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The anniversary of his wife's death.
Because he is a child.
Yeah.
Like yes, he's 25, but like
Yes.
he's still living in his parents' house. He's still. He's in every way a child. You don't look a day over 12. Hey, I might be 25, but I was 24 for a whole year.
I'm 25. I was 24 for a whole year.
These lines,
My main,
it's so
he's
good.
trying to be suave and
Yeah.
stuff. Yes, exactly.
That's wonderful.
I love that I remember loving that he wasn't dead at the end and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But you bring up Matthew Lillard.
Of course.
My favorite shit ever, and I used this line again, ruining my social life. That thing where he's like, you cut me too deep, man.
Get woozy.
Get a little woozy over here.
Stop it, Billy Wood, you alright? I can't take anymore. I'm feeling a little woozy here.
That shit is so good. It's so good. Their banter there at the end,
Oh, man.
that whole sequence is amazing.
Seconded only to, did you really call the cops?
Mr. Sorry Ass, I did.
My mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me.
Yeah.
It's so good.
He's perfect.
Oh yeah.
Because she even says, well, like, what's in it for you? Like, he has all this, like, and he's like, peer pressure, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like, I don't fucking know. Yeah, and he's in Serial Mom, too, right? As someone who, like, witnesses a murder and then goes, like, I'm not into horror movies anymore.
What should I do? I don't know. Bring her home, I guess.
No more violence. No more violence.
He's
it's
so
perfect.
good in everything.
Yeah.
This reminds me a lot of his character from Hackers.
Yeah.
Like that same like expressiveness, like the tongue is out when he says things, he's doing his stuff. Like
Things are flopping around up here, yeah.
When I was a child, spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things.
he brings a lot, and they said it too, like that character on paper is very dry.
Perfect,
Like they're
nice.
underwritten.
I was gonna say.
And his
Yeah.
the sheer power of Matthew, of Scooby-Doo himself, the OP genius that he is, just shines that character so hard.
Technically, he's Scooby-Doo's monster. He's not Scooby-Doo.
He's
He plays Shaggy. I'm joking. Oh, God. Ugh.
Scooby-Doo's monster.
No, he brought a lot to the role.
Everybody dies but us. We're gonna carry on and plan the sequel, because let's face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel.
Yeah.
And that's perfect that you even call, specifically say.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that stuff wasn't there and he injected that into the because it would have been so flat because Billy, Skeet Ulrich is so, he's supposed to be because you're supposed to be like, oh, you must be the killer.
You're
up
the
until
brooding, oh.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so like, I'm complicated, right?
Couldn't have been me. I was in jail. Remember?
And Matthew Lillard's like, blah, and all that stuff. Right, yeah, it's great.
Once you guys go up to my parents' room, you guys can talk, whatever.
Subtlety, Stu. You should look it up.
Another character that jumps out at me that only has that one scene is just in the bathroom. So like Neve Campbell is in there and people are just talking shit about her.
Cut some slack. She watched her mom get butchered. And it fucked her up royally. Think about it. Her mother's death leaves her disturbed and hostile in a cruel and inhumane world.
And there's this one girl who I think is either in a cheerleader outfit or a skirt or something.
Yeah.
And she just drilling her with shit.
But she realizes that teen suicide is out this year, and homicide is a much healthier therapeutic expression.
And she's like, well, she was going to commit suicide, but that's so last year. And homicide is such a healthier form of self-expression or something like that.
Maybe she decided homicide would be, yeah, exactly.
And just the way she hits that, I'm like, damn, that's a strong delivery.
Damn.
This girl's good. Did she ever go on to anything else? I didn't check.
Oh. I thought you were building, and that's the girl who would later become this person. Yeah.
Nah.
Mila Kunis.
Deadlier and sexier than ever before.
Ribbed for her pleasure.
Something I just reminded too is it's totally fate that Matthew Lillard even got in this movie to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
He was only accompanying a girlfriend trying out for something else in the building, not even a part of that movie. And the cast director's like, "Do you act?" and pulled him in, and he got it.
I've been known to.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard, I think, is a cool guy besides. I think he's
Yeah.
actually cool in his normal life, which is like
I would agree.
shocking.
I like
Well, I've never met
Jamie
him, but-
Kennedy a lot in his real life.
Oh, God, yeah.
So Jamie Kennedy's in this. This
in
is
this
one
too.
of his probably most memorable roles.
Yeah.
It probably gets quoted the most from all the things he did.
Anytime anybody wants to reference like the rules, they have to play that scene where
Yeah.
he's like, okay, everybody, I'll be right back. Like, yeah, fucking.
Sex equals death, okay? Number 2, you can never drink or do drugs.
So like we've talked about him recently because he's in the future Tremors movies. You know, Son of the Mask puts a blemish on his career, but in general, he's a pretty cool guy. I liked the Jamie Kennedy Experiment. I liked his rapping endeavors with Stu Stone.
Circle, circle, dot, dot. I got my cootie shot.
He's got a lot going on, and in this movie, I think he brings alive little the bits of him leaking through, like his impressions while he's saying things and doing things.
Did they put the liver in the mailbox? I thought they put the liver in the... I don't know
exactly.
I don't know him at all, and I think he's goofy and weird, but I believe you that he might be a cool guy. Let me just get that out of the way.
They said all those things I think that are funny, I think he added them in on his own. He said he added a lot of bullshit while he did his auditions, and it made what the fuck's his name?
Wes Craven.
Wes Craven laugh, and he's like yes, you.
Did you really put her liver in the mailbox? Because I heard that they found her liver in the mailbox next to her spleen and her pancreas.
Randy, you goon fucking trying to eat here.
I'm picturing, what's his name, Orson Welles or somebody instead of Wes Craven.
Ah, the French champagne.
He's so young in this. This is like, he looks very much how he looked in like Romeo and Juliet.
I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it. Huh?
Wes Craven does?
Yes. Wes Craven is in the movie. Did you catch him?
No.
He plays the janitor, dressed up like Freddy Krueger.
Oh, he looks like shit.
Always has.
Damn little shits.
What'd you call me? Huh?
Not your friend.
Well, he's dead now, but...
Looks like shit now.
Well.
That's great. Yeah, I knew that was something, but I thought it was mostly just like he's dressed like Freddy Krueger or whatever.
One of the only cameos in the... Linda Blair is also in this one as a very quick cameo as one of the reporters. The people deserve to know!
So how does it feel to be almost brutally butchered?
Hey, now leave her alone.
People want to know. They have a right to know. Leave her alone. How does it feel?
Oh, shit. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't notice, except I've watched this many times, and this is the first time I caught that on top of, I think it was a VCR, where she puts her camera to record the living room thing, there's a copy of Clerks. And I was like, oh, cool, a copy of Clerks. Because then, is it in 2? When you get the Jay and Silent Bob cameo.
Boys.
Oh, shit, Salvo. It's that TV news shit, Connie fucking Chung. Dude, I think she likes me, man.
And so I'm like, oh, they're in multiple... you know, because Miramax made these, so it just makes sense.
Let's see who you really are. Fucking Miramax, cut!
The dialogue is also hip and stuff, so I meant to check if anybody contributed to the script, like a Whedon or a Kevin Smith type guy. I don't think anyone did. But the point is, yes. Awesome.
Well, I don't think Craven didn't have anything to do with the writing of this, I don't believe. I think he just directed it, if I'm not mistaken, which I might be. Let me know in the comments below. Or fuck yourself.
Just check IMDb.
I'm not checking shit!
What do I have to do to prove to you that I'm not a killer?
Oh my God.
Huh?
So that whole third act, the whole third, of the movie, like, I have these distinct memories, the nostalgia, the thick ropes of nostalgia were covering me at this point. It was like the house up on the hill and how it looks like a dollhouse up there. It looks fake, and like the path down, and then like the van and the camera and the 30-second delay, and they're running here and there and the kids and all that. Just something about that felt so like, oh wow, I'm like back. I'm transported back 20-something years ago.
That whole business at the house is a wild scene because so much happens.
Sequence, whatever, set piece.
I forget what they called it. There's a joke about it, like scene 18 or something. It is like the house, and it took an incredible amount of time because just filming at nights, I want to say, and it was like 21 days straight.
I was gonna say
just
weeks
there,
definitely.
So they have like shirts like I survived scene 18 or whatever the fuck scene it is.
Yeah.
It's the longest night of a horror movie, I think they said, or or at least that record held, I think, then.
Okay. No, it's so much of the movie in retrospect now that I've like watched it, intentionally, and instantly was like, oh, we're back here. I'm so happy to be here. I feel so warm and safe at the house because there's so many deaths, and the whole thing when they pull out her dad and everything and the whole craziness.
Guess we won't be needing this anymore.
Yeah, no, look at this. Ring, ring. Won't need this. Got the ending figured out yet, Sid?
I love that.
It's nice that he's alive.
Yeah, honestly,
because
definitely.
easily
And they're about to frame him up.
Yeah, they're probably about to kill him.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And I'm sure everyone has talked about this, but like on rewatch, I'm like watching stuff, so I'm like, oh god, when the killers realized that the good people disappeared, where they thought that they were like taken care of, and I'm
shit.
What?
Like, that's such a funny reversal of the stupid thing. And then you're like, okay, well, surely they're not going to have the killer do... No, he does. He gets back. I'm like, I forgot all about that part. When he gets back up and she shoots him and stuff. Like,
back to life for one last scare.
Not in my movie.
Yeah, oh, it's perfect.
So the new Scream, which I think is out at this point.
Depends on when you're watching this.
I can't remember. I can't be checking.
We don't
things.
check the news.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
But there were like tweets from Matthew Lillard and from Skeet Ulrich that like they were in it, and I'm like, Skeet gets shot in the head. I guess, well, the movie Bulletproof does tell me you can survive a shot from the head. And honestly, a lot of people do walk away from this alive. And I don't know that Matthew Lillard is dead. You know, like he was stabbed here and there, and then a TV crushed his head.
TV.
But
yeah,
we don't see his head. Like something could land on my head and give me the Mo Sizlak, and I just pop out really handsome. I don't know.
Listen, I would love a sequel where they're both like in idle hands. They're like, and like Matthew Lillard is just like a TV head monster where like the TV is showing a picture
his face.
of Matthew Lillard from like all of his different movies even. That would be amazing.
And even if it was just a flashback,
yeah,
but a flashback that wasn't filmed or something, like they CG fucking, they the Irishman them and make them younger.
No. It's Skeet Ulrich with like a weird metal plate in his head, like the dude who's in the desert in Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. He's all like, "Oh, I'm a monster now," and Nev Campbell's like, "It's been 30 years. Why are you still trying to kill me?" Yeah.
You must die. His wheelchair.
Oh, I'm like, what?
Finish, Dredd. My pleasure, Paul.
Do you think him dropping the cell phone when he got back in the Sydney's bedroom was on purpose to start off a series of things? Because I wasn't sure about a lot of that. Like him hitting her head against the floor. I'm like, well, that could have been a moment you killed her, but you didn't want to kill her. You were trying to do this long con thing. What if she didn't fight back then? Were you gonna just rough her up and leave?
I do not know how much of this was planned. And the way they talk at the end when he's like, motives are incidental. We're just doing this whatever thing. Like, I don't even know. I think that we're getting like a very restricted view of even what they show the audience, you know, the killer is doing, where it just seems like it's all being orchestrated behind, but it's probably like very messy and weird and shitty.
Yeah.
And I don't even know which one that was that hit her head. You know, that's Matthew Lillard, I think at that point, right? So maybe he's just like, I got carried away, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's going on?
I wonder, because there's a lot of things you could, in any movie, there's a situation where you're like, wait a minute, if that would have panned out the way you were trying it, would any of this other happen? Like, would you have killed Rose McGowan in the worst way in the movie? That's the worst death in the movie, by far. The elevator, the garage door.
Yeah, you don't
Because even if we assume that it could lift you up, it wouldn't kill you.
I knew you were going to say that, and we almost got through this without you saying it, so I'm glad, because I've prepared. They showed the like thing, the motor like shaking and stuff. Like it's struggling to handle it. And she's a small girl and all that stuff. So I was like, I'm sold. It's okay. And then even later when they show her dead, it seems like her neck is in the doggy door. Not her like whole torso and stuff. So it worked for me. I was okay with it.
I don't like it. I think because it would have been very easy. I guess like on paper that just sounds cool, but I think it wasn't executed as cool as it could have been.
Dewey was saying this is the worst crime we've seen in years, even worse than. Well, it's bad.
When he throws the phone and it hits Matthew Lillard and he's like, "Yeah, I'm in the phone, dick!"
Oh, come on. It's never ending.
I want to say that was an accident and he's just an awesome man.
He just said it?
Yeah.
Pansy-ass mama's boy.
Fucking hit me with the phone, dick!
Did you think it was weird at all that the entire like fake plot is that Skeet Ulrich is like, I don't see why the death of your mom is like, you know, causing, you know, like affecting our, you know, our sex life so much, bitch. Like what's wrong with you? Like that's so crazy.
It's crazy, but picture you at 17 and being dumb.
I get it.
I could see an idiot saying that.
Do you know what that constellation is?
No, what is it?
I don't know. That's why I was asking you.
And it fits because it's so weird and callous and like strange that she's like, you're pressuring me over this. And then you find out in like the news report she was like raped and murdered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that would be a thing.
It was only a year ago.
Yeah, it was
not even a year
literally like just now a year ago.
Is your brain leaking? My mom was killed. I can't believe you're bringing this up.
No, it's been a year.
Tomorrow. 1 year tomorrow.
Yeah,
And he's like,
I'm impressed
I don't
she's
see what's
alive.
going
Like,
on. Yeah, exactly. Why would she still even be dating him? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, I don't know that she would dump him for it, but
not dump him, but just be like, I can't be in a relationship right now. I'm sorry. This is like too
Yeah.
much, whatever. It's very funny though, going back, because like you're supposed to believe. I guess they're trying to set him up like the killer, and that's part of why. But you're also supposed to believe he's not the killer at some point.
But
so then you're like, oh, he was just like so horny.
Once more removed, you think about a dude going like, God, get over it. So she died, whatever. And then he can't get over the fact that his mom just left his dad.
Might be
much smaller.
might be projection.
Yeah. Maybe.
Open those legs up.
Your slut mother was fucking my father. And she's the reason my mom moved out and abandoned me.
She does eventually.
She does eventually.
That would feel
His
so.
plan works perfectly.
Can you like? But picture the true horror of this movie is imagining you just gave yourself for the first time to the monster that and like I don't think he actually raped your mom. I think she just had sex with Cotton. They called that rape, and he murdered her.
Right.
So she wasn't actually raped.
Yeah.
I don't believe.
But
who's to say? Skeet does what he does.
I meant that Sydney believes the
Yes,
shit.
yes.
Yeah.
But at the very least, I've just had sex with the guy that killed
yeah.
your mother, this monster. And maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was Matthew Lillard. But just the same. He was with it.
It's a part of the very tasteful, like well done sort of girl power element here. Because they've like done this horrible thing to her. That's taken a long time to happen to her too.
Yeah.
And she gets this nice, satisfying, cathartic revenge about it and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's high-fiving at the end. Gail and her and Dewey, they're all like, and then fucking Randy, right? Jamie Kennedy, pops up. I'm not dead either, guys. And they're like, fuck you,
It was nice to see he wasn't dead, honestly.
Sorry.
Oh my God, Randy, I thought you were dead.
I probably should be. I never thought I'd be so happy to be a virgin.
Well, he says like, I'm a virgin, right? And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
the
it gets
rules
interrupted though,
are back.
like by being attacked by
Yeah,
Skeletons again. I don't like that she put on the costume. I think that's
and the
just
voice, it's so weird.
very dumb.
It's so weird.
Like, I get it for movie purposes, and this
Yes.
is like a satire comedy of a horror in general, but that, I was like, you're just asking. What if the cops walked in right then and
it's so
just shot
dumb.
you dead?
And like they could have pulled that off better if there was some element of like tricking somebody or something.
Yeah.
But it's like just like, well, if I'm gonna stab someone, I have to put the costume on. She puts the costume on.
And stabs him with an umbrella.
It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Because even for the audience, there's no moment of the audience being like, "Is that Matthew Lillard?" Like, no. There's no misdirect. It's
Yeah,
just
he went
a goofy
nuts
thing.
stabbing Matt. Like he had nothing to give at that moment, and he still was able to fight, which I'm like, that seems like I don't know. You got like popped a couple good times.
Houston, we have a problem here.
You feel the stabs too. It's
Oh
really
yeah, no,
interesting.
it's
And even just
powerful.
I'm just gushing now, but even just the dynamic where they're in this weird partnership to do the horrible things, and it's like I think at one point it's like, okay, give me the knife now, I have to do you, and he's like, no, or something, because he's
Yeah.
like, wait, you like you're gonna like take your revenge out on me now because of what I did to you.
Give me the knife.
Oh. Give me the knife. Now!
This weird, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is a really intense situation to be
He
in.
gets
I did
mad
not
a
like this.
good amount of times.
Yeah, not into it.
What's weird though is like when he first does that first, where you think Skeet is not the killer because he gets killed by the
fake,
killer,
yeah.
and he's covered in cornstarch and blood. At some point, I feel like that would get noticed when like the paramedics are like, oh, where are you? Wait, fuck is this? Is that Carol's airplane? What do you got going on here? Like that seems like a weird, like, I don't know. Like, and it was it was delivered very effectively. Where I was like, you couldn't have been wearing packets. You just had sex. Was that all just thrown on you? What? I don't know.
When he got dressed again after having sex, he puts on his blood rig.
Oh, okay, I missed
It's
that
the
part.
whole thing.
Got it.
No, I don't think the paramedics were ever going to be involved with that. I think that was just to fuck with Sydney more.
Oh no, I don't mean that the paramedics would see that and say this is fake. I mean that they would be tracing these horrible bloody wounds, trying to patch you up, because their plan eventually was to call and say, "Oh, okay, we managed to kill the killer. We got him here, but he's got almost everyone at the party. Oh, come quick!" And they're all stabbed up and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then you'd have him covered in fake blood too.
I wonder if that's the plan, is for the real blood and to kind of mask the fake blood and stuff.
I don't know.
He's a
I feel like
genius.
though, like when you're in a situation like that, don't they like cut your clothes off and like test it for stuff?
The perfect crime.
I don't know.
Corn syrup. Same stuff they use for pig's blood in Carrie.
That video store conversation is super intense too.
Yeah.
Because like Skeet Ulrich is like right there behind him all of a
The
sudden.
only problem is when Jamie Kennedy screams really loud and everyone, like, it's like that pin drop moment. Like,
it's funny.
What?
Very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
No, I laughed my ass off when the entire video store is like, "What is going on over there?"
Didn't you get fired?
Are you
twice?
Are you a killer?
He's all happy about it.
So they fired your sorry ass.
Twice.
It's called Tact, you fuck rag. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff opinions you can really trust.